Hello there, and welcome to episode 2 of my gameplay series for Age of Wonders, featuring a Chosen Destroyers gameplay, brutal difficulty, high culture golem build. So, you guys asked for more early game footage, and I felt like that's a great idea. We're going to do that. So what we see here is the battle for the independent city right next door, and it's the actual siege of the city. I felt like this would be a brilliant part to start at, as this is one of the situations that I personally loathe to play, as I tend to lose units quite regularly, especially in the early game when you are not used to lose units that freely. It can be quite the pain. That's why we play it together. So a quick pointer here, what I want to talk about before we get started here is, please, more comments, more recommendations, what you want to see in action here. I love doing these videos. I just love to know what kind of builds you'd see in action, because there's just so many things, and I have such a hard time deciding that I hoped you guys could help me out a little bit. Alright, so we drew back our front line a little bit, because I don't want to fight here right now into these guys while they are behind their fortifications. When you are attacking a city, the real downside and the real damnable situation you're in is that you have to take the first punch right in your face, and you have to tank it, and that's what I did. By falling back a bit, though, as you see, I lured the AI to come out of their defenses and do foolish things. I like forcing the AI to do foolish things because that's just an easy way to win the game. Now, we got here a really nasty front line, and we're going to get started by picking our heroes and flick out some Twin Awakening on our ranged attackers. I'm preferring the archers because they gain more range. Bang. And we are going to go here, or archers, and I think that should do the trick. And the next step I do is I'm going to summon me some undead, and we drew the jackpot. We got some corrupt souls. Among the best units to pull, as they are excellent frontliners. Now, we are going to use now the units first that are furthest most away, as these guys are, as I'd like to say, are really only able to reach what they can reach here. So I'm going to step up here and try that 40% shot. We went lucky, if you ask me. So here we could take a 90% shot if we step up there. Our copper golems are just pretty banged up. I don't want to decide on that location for now. So we are going to check back with the other situations. We got here a big tactical nuke available. Silas doesn't have any summons available, so he cannot help us. So let's decide on the location for our tactical nuke. I think this front line here is pretty good. So here we go. We froze all three of them. Nice. Sometimes you just get flat out lucky. So we're now able to put down even more pressure on these, and I think just going one step further and starting to kill off a couple of their units certainly doesn't hurt our game plan. So, stepping up with my golems, stepping up with my archers. There we go. I hope 50% won't end up in friendly fire. It's always the one thing I'm worried about most. And let's see, we got Twin Awakening available here still. Let's put that onto the spears and our dragon, obviously. I'm going to heal up my frontliners, as these are always the ones that will take the most pressure, and I'm very, very inclined to keep my my copper golems alive to make bronze golems out of them. So far, so good. The only real thing that I'm concerned about is the well-being of these guys. They are really, really low, and I don't have any other Sun Priests available, so we're going to move them back and give them a little bit of a warding blessing so they won't get destroyed this turn. I'm very, very protective about my golems, as they are a future investment. There we go. So, my good friend Silas can also step up to the plate. I'm ignoring the heroes now mostly, as none of them was positioning himself in a way that I was able to nuke them freely. And yeah, I think I'm going to lose one of my copper golems here. No! Oh, look at that. We got lucky. So, let's see. This guy summoned something, and I will put my own summon in his face, as we can easily take out these guys, and therefore we don't need more. So I can now either mark off invulnerability these guys, or, well, let's see what we can do instead. I certainly want to try a different solution. So, tail slap here, pretty good, as this softens up pretty much everybody, and we do deal a tremendous amount of damage. This guy here has a crossbow, and it's terribly annoying to deal with, therefore, as he only needs one action point to inflict terrible amounts of damage. So, let's see. I really want to get these guys out of harm's way and put these guys into harm's way. There we go. So, I'm softening up mostly their tier 3 battle mages, as I see them being the biggest threat here on the field. My hero takes down the supporter, so my shields can step up here and just shield the rest of the bunch. I think that's one of the smartest things to do. They also grow a lot more tanky for themselves when they do that, so... Alright. I decide to destroy the enemy shields here, simply because a killed unit is always profit for us, whereas a hurt hero is still as effective as he would be when he's not hurt. It's one thing you always should keep in mind. If a unit consists only out of one person, it doesn't matter how much pain you inflict to them, they will be as effective as they were at the beginning of the fight. It's really, really important. But apart from that, I see us taking the upper hand here. I will put another warding blessing here on this guy in the backline. You never know what kind of effort the AI will take to make sure that they kill one of your units. I've seen really crazy things happen, therefore I strongly recommend you to be careful around that, but all in all, this is a victory. You can already see us walking all over the place. The real tricky part here, though, is, I want to emphasize it, was never to win this fight. Winning this fight was from the beginning ridiculously easy, as we have so much power over these guys. No, the problem was to not lose anybody here, because everyone in this roster is darn valuable for me. And the mission was a full success. So, we conquered Saint Spire, and that's where we wanted to be. So, over here, what happened in between, it was not much. I did summon a lot of copper golems in between, because I was playing around a little bit and I had to reload a lot because I underestimated the difficulty of a Chosen Destroyers run in combination with brutal difficulty. What happened, or what is currently happening here, the situation that we have to take care of, and I will take care of in this episode, is that there's a brutal army stack marching towards me because I was not strong enough at a certain checkpoint. Brutal AI is very, very strict. If you don't have enough army at their check, they just declare war on you and try to walk over you. End of the story. That's just what will happen. Therefore, if the AI declares war on you very early on, you can take that as a clear sign that your military is too small. And you either step up to the plate and you do something about that, or you will get overrun. So you basically should take that really as your wake-up call. We're going to take Exhilarating Roar here. That is an amazing dragon skill, as it buffs up our roster tremendously. It's a sweet, sweet 2 hex point blank AoE healing spell. So, We got tremendous amounts of heroes in our crypt. I actually meant to keep them, but in an emergency situation we're going to do as follows. We're going to sell all of them, and I think, no, we're going to go not for that. We're going to rush ourselves another unit. I was for a moment tempted to build the Pantheon, but as a matter of fact, it ain't that important at all. Simply because we got already 2 of these battle mages that we want. We don't necessarily need that many more of them. Alright, what's really important now is that we get towards this front here as fast as possible, otherwise Blind the Mole Man will just overrun all premises. But we are pretty well off. We just have to suffer through the fact that most of our army are flimsy tier 1 golems, but yeah, well, there's always something. But in a situation like that, bring a full doom stack. Don't leave any blank spots. It really invites the AI to just walk all over you. Alright, so I don't hurry the recruitment here, because we still have time to do so later. So, we got artisan armaments, but sadly I don't have the necessary mana right now to take care of all the spells that I want to. I mean, currently I am really eager and to save up my mana for more troops here. So we're going to buy that breastplate of the champion. There we go. That is a massive item that will help out my new wizard hat melee guy a lot. So it's time to equip up a few things. The lightning sword here seems to be an excellent upgrade, and the breastplate of the champion is amazing. It is a real power-up for any melee hero, and I love using that. So we sadly only have wolves. Alright. It's time to gear up all heroes. This lady here doesn't have anything we can gear up on her, but she does have a level uplift. So I'm picking up the Golem assistants because I love these guys. They are just so freaking versatile and useful in so many regards. Lovely. Alright, so I keep my army here at home because I want to make sure that we can heal up. And the AI does make a huge mistake here, as they send 1 stack up front. So this is one of the things that I mentioned in one of my other videos. When you want to win against an AI enemy that has a lot more troops than you, these are actually the situations you are craving for, as we can now annihilate a portion of the enemy's army for free, basically. You totally want these moments, so let's see. Please don't tell me that you're screwing up the auto combat here. You are. Of course you are. That's the pain of a build that revolves on evolving tier 1 units. You just have to fight through so many low tier fights, because it's just ridiculous how easily the AI wastes away your valuable evolvable units, because the AI is not capable of playing around priorities. Sadly, there is no prioritizing on units that will just respawn for free. And if you watch the replays, I am sometimes surprised that I actually am able to win any combat without losses when I auto-resolve, in all honesty. It's shocking what kind of straight up running into your death behavior I've seen there. So when you're fighting heroes, it's always worth checking out what you're up here against. Check out if they have any really nasty things. So this guy has a demon step spell, but apart from that, not much. So we can here slap down our ice comet. How we do that? Bam. So let's see, what happened? We did freeze only their archers. The shield is still in defense mode. So in a situation like that, you either have a tool to break their defense mode, or you better not engage at all. My hope here was first and foremostly to break the enemy's shield stance, and then rush all in into that situation. Didn't come together, so I'm not gonna. Here, my Awakeners, though, I let them do their nuking out of one darn simple reason. They do magical damage. That magical damage gets only partially mitigated by the shields, as they are not that capable in shielding against magical damage. Therefore, it was okay. We're gonna get some beating here, as both of these troop types like to flash in and go all in, but I'm quite positive that this time we won't be facing such terrible losses. So, well, let's go for the terrible, terrible Awakening minigame again. This is really one of the things that turns me off on the on this faction most, that you have this insane amount of micromanagement the whole time that you just have to force yourself through. Whenever you want to do something with these blokes, you just end up with buff here, buff there, buff this, buff that, before you can do a single click, and you always end up being like, oh, I need to buff this guy before I'll let him act, and yeah. The micromanagement on these guys is really horrendous. On the other hand, you get one of the most powerful early game rosters that you could possibly wish for, so I probably shouldn't mutter at all. So, here goes one smack. Yeah, let's just flank this guy with my dragon. What does he think? Flashing all in on top of a dragon hero. Dude. He had it coming. Alright, let's heal up our battle mages. And I think the rest of this is easy pickings. Alright, make sure that somebody steps up to these. And as you see here, these Golem assistants, they are amazing. We get free units that can sunder enemies' freaking defenses for free. And if they die, I just don't care a thing about it. Because we get free ones, dude, every fight. Love Golem builds by now. In all honesty, they're really cool. So, at this point, I am actually guarding out the rest of the army, because I really don't have it in me to micro the rest of the army to do more punishment, as you see here. It's just not necessary. Alright, so that was that. You gotta be careful, though. There is a good chance that we're going to get now a full-on attack during the next turn. That's why I claimed that province, so we get that healing. I do actually expect getting attacked now. So, Siege Magic versus Iron Golems, we want both of them, but right now I am leaning into Iron Golems as my mana is chronically low right now. Alright, we got a few more turns left to spend, and I'm going to recruit another Sun Priest. These guys are really good, as they can dish out a nice amount of damage, they can buff, they can heal. I like these guys for everything you can do with them. Alright, so Blint, I expect his army to close on in on me now. If he doesn't, that means I've already exceeded his army stack. Yeah. Okay. I expected more from you, Blint, but as this is how the arms race can sometimes just fall completely into your favor. Well, let's not be too happy too early, huh? So we got in front of us a city there underground, and we got another city over there above Earth. So what's really important for me right now is that I don't want my troop stacks to be wounded too badly. Therefore, we're closing in and totally gonna be annihilating a tier 3 unit for free. I mean, seriously? It would be foolish not to. But anything else, we will just take carefully here. So, next step, I will be saving up for my Pantheon. But before we do that, we start building the Wizard Tower, because I really need that Imperium income. Alright, so Saint Spire will be destroyed next turn. I think this was one of the things that took way too long in this run. I would have needed to destroy a city much, much earlier. There we go. So here we have our risky battle. The assessment here is pretty clear. We have a ton of melee troops, and let's see how we can fare through that. I have almost no mana at my disposal. That is really, really scary, and these guys have a massive front line marching towards me. And they are industrious, that means they will also be tanky. I am still very confident of my victory chances here, as we clearly have... Oh, dang it, I didn't want to have my hero there. As we clearly have a ranged advantage on these guys. And we do have a lot of support, we do have a lot of summons, so I do see some chances in winning that without losing too many troops. But in all honesty, we are here at the losing end. We got less troop stacks than them in terms of fighting power. They have more tier 2 troops on us in form of spears, and those spears, they can be quite vicious, so I really need to be careful about how the AI moves their stacks. It could be very, very easily the case, too, that we need to reload this battle at least once. I can't promise yet. So, really important for me is that my summoning hero has a gap where he or she can summon through. It's really important that you position yourself this way. And as you see here, I'm starting to put my melees as much at front as I can, and the ranged into the center. End of the story. Nothing special. I keep a spear in the back line there. Oh, well, wait a sec. Keeping a spear in the back line here and there, so the enemy doesn't have that much of an easy time when he wants to fall into my backline. The real nasty part about the Industrious is that they grow in power the longer a fight goes. And their typical go-through situation is, yeah, they buff themselves through like crazy. And as you see here, these tier 3 guys get all the buffing on Earth, but luckily the AI is stupid as hell, as they put more strength stacks on these guys than they possibly can utilize. These guys have by now like 20 strength stacks. This is something that I personally think needs to get nerfed, as this, or I should call it nerfed, changed, as this does make these guys a lot less effective now. Alright, we had a break-in of that guy into our backline, and he did land a lucky crit. So that's really annoying, but it does happen, and you can't change that. So first steps now to recover from that situation, we need to take that guy out of our backline. To do so, I will first awaken some of my dudes here, and then put a mass rejuvenation on the people that were slammed here. And we put a icy comet. Let's see. Where do we want to put that? This looks like a really good spot. Let's see. Alright, we broke up their formation already a tad bit. So, I'm leaving the first blow to the Golem assistants, because I want them to take the retaliation attack, because they are not really that important. So these guys got immobilized by the Earth Elemental. That is a little bit annoying, but we have to deal with that. So next step, we want to have everybody acting here awakened. This is really important, as this increases our damage tremendously. So these guys are not awakened yet, so let's change that. We got so many awakeners, can easily get ourselves there. So I don't know whether or not we will actually win this, simply because there is a good chance of us getting just simply overrun here. As you see there, we have a lot of opposition against us here. So my hero here, I need him to act in this turn if possible. So we're going to use our Awakener's attack there. So we can definitely get ourselves a shot out of the Summoner Cannon here. Okay. Just a random Awakening here. There we go. So, backline is free. We can now get ourselves the lost soul we need. Beautiful. And we will just put that guy up front here and let him guard. One Iron Golem assistant goes into here. And we'll, for now, stand back and see how the situation evolves. It is quite simple. We wouldn't be winning much here if we'd be just rushing into these guys. Not at all. Especially not while their tier 3s are buffed up like crazy. Instead, we're just starting to nuke these guys a little bit and soften them up while we're at it. And let's see how the situation evolves now. Alright, this is a little bit scary, not gonna lie, but we got so much regeneration and all that I'm quite confident that this might work out at the end. So as you see here, my tier 1s are totally getting annihilated, but it does take up an action from them, and that's all that matters. There we go. I'm binding here a lot of their troops just for nothing here. And so far, we haven't lost anything. Alright, good. That's what matters. So, next step, we need to inflict as much damage to them this turn as possible, which is probably the hardest part as we are standing in front of a brick wall, basically. So, we are, nevertheless, very capable of blasting down these frontliners they are sending against us. And basically what we're trying here is to stand back and nuke and survive while we're fending off their attacks and healing up ourselves while not getting fully annihilated. So my focus here is a lot on taking down their ranged attackers, as these are very squishy and at the same time they do deal a lot of damage. So taking these guys out quickly might be a real recipe for the victory here. There we go. So my 2 copper golems can easily take out the archers here, and we're going to move not a single inch here with this lost soul. And we're going to start poking these archers here. My main focus here is not to touch their spears, as these guys, as you see here, are hidden super hard. We're instead very inclined of just not touching their frontliners and taking them out from afar, because that's where they are, as a matter of fact, quite vulnerable. So, I'm healing up my units now. And we're taking out another frontliner there. Okay. And let's keep going. So far, so good. There we go. We're starting to inflict moral damage on their side as they keep losing troops and we keep losing, well, none. So, one spell here I have to go for is one Warding Blessing on my Dragon Ruler, as if this guy falls, we have really nothing to fight for anymore. Alright, so one of their golems broke into my front line. My summon is now getting annihilated, sadly, but gotta say, he held the line quite long, so let's see how that'll work out. These guys totally fumbled their attack, but I'm afraid that we will lose a copper golem or 2 this fight, or 3, or all. I don't know. These guys are, after all, pretty much fighting the same style as I am, which is, I don't know why this whole matchup seems to be totally nudged towards me having to fight myself, basically. Not over exaggerating here. The neutral city was my own build. These guys are rocking a Materium Golem build. I'm basically feeling as if I am fighting myself here. Well, so far so good. We did lose though a one of my frontliners, and that is pretty bad news, as Each and every one of them is extremely important, and we need to start softening up our enemy. Otherwise, they will be capable of grinding through us too easily. Now then, we need one of our supporters on this situation here. Especially we need Impending Awakening here. Ooh, go. As you see, we really do have terrible amount of healing capabilities here. So my frontliners here, again, I leave them just in the defensive posture, as the industrious culture spear guys are really excelling at getting attacked. This is what they actually want you to, basically. There we go. So let's see, does anybody here require a healing? Yes, my dragon does. So I'm going to step ahead here. Refresh the awakening, and we're going to take down another one of theirs. And every one of these takedowns is getting us closer to a point where the enemy is not capable of withstanding us anymore. So I'm now using the Dragon Ruler here to dive into their backline. There we go. I hope I won't be regretting that too much here. But their morale is absolutely devastated at this point. They still have a ton of troops on me, and I'm afraid that I will lose. Yeah, the copper golems will just go down here like nothing. That was something I did expect to happen, but yeah, well. Here goes a lot of punishment on my dragon hero, but, well. I didn't lose this guy, though. Wow. I am more than surprised. Okay, so I need to get this guy here somehow out of harm's way, but if I'd be moving him, he'd be really receiving a ton of punishment. So I think, well, we will ponder over that in a second. This is one of the typical situations where it would be foolish to let your hero act first. So, my Sun Priest isn't awakened yet. We need him awakened. We don't have any awakenings left here. Oh boy. Alrighty, so we have a lot of nuking potential here open. Okay, so, but where is somebody who can awaken? There we go. So, the awakening is so important for me because I want to have a chance of distracting these guys. If we have them distracted, we deal much, much more damage. It's really a lot more damage. Okay, so Twin Awakening, let's see. Bam. I wanted these to be awakened. It's a difference from 33 to 45 damage. There we go. But we pretty much won this fight already, in my opinion. Just need to be careful that I don't lose my dragon hero here accidentally. Okay, we're going to take the smack on these guys, because I just figured that this might be also a very, very potent way of mitigating the damage. If I'll be just banging up these guys first. It's the simple logic that units that are wounded deal just less damage than units that are full HP. There we go. There we go. And oh, we already won. That's it. So here you see that it's really not that much about numbers advantage. We merely lost 2 of our copper golems. I am really sad that we lost them, as they cannot evolve anymore, but I think Blint the Underdelver just took a real big loss against me. And technically on paper, I am the weakest party on the field. Check this out though, the first of our bronze golems has transformed into a copper golem. least one made it to the end. Alright, so we're gonna step back and lick our wounds for a second, and enjoy the fact that we also gained a huge influx of money just that moment ago. We are going to use these losses as sort of an opportunity. I will replace them with the iron golems I'm currently researching, because I think that is a great way of making good use of these losses. So here we have now another free city squadron closing in on us, but in all honesty, I will step back for a second and let them come towards me. As my troops are pretty low right now, I need to rest up a bit. We now need to destroy our second city. That is imperative right now. Let's see. Auto resolve. Can you do? How many copper golems will you annihilate? Just one of them. That's already one too many. I cannot emphasize how important it is to get these guys through the early game, as every one of them is a tier 3 unit you got for merely spending 60 mana. This is just so powerful that every one of these guys is an important and valuable asset. I know I am repeating myself, I know you hear that constantly in these videos, but I only keep saying that because it is so darned important. You see? Because also I am very tempted for this build to not include the tome where you can recruit them, because right now I don't see the golem, this golem tome as the right choice for this build, as we do need definitely another tome, but I'm very, very inclined to take the Tome of Winds for this build, as this would give us another nuking unit. And I already feel like this whole nuking scheme goes really, really well with that darn solid frontline that we got. As you saw there, I mean, we withstood that. We didn't falter against these guys. They were not able to get behind our shield wall or spear wall. We merely lost 2 units. I feel like that was a really big win. Usually in early game fights, you just have to accept a few losses. You should not fantasize too much about fighting a 3-troop stack of the enemy army without losing a man or two. Won't happen, usually. Unless you are really inclined to save scum the hell out of a combat until you have made that 1 in a million fight. Surely you can do, but I'm not that much of a try-hard at that end. I sometimes just feel like, yeah, you win some, you lose some, you know. Alright, so also I want to emphasize here that this is, for me, the best way to go through the micromanagement hell of the high culture, by just awakening them as needed, so to say. Whenever I see somebody I want to have awakened, I go through my troops and search until I find somebody who can do the job. Here we go. So, letting the little guys soak up the retaliation blows, the replaceable ones, and the non-replaceable ones don't get attacked here at all. Very, very smooth and simple interaction. Sun Priest awakening for distraction chances is also very, very nice, as long as they would hit. Oh. Alright. So I really have no clue how the AI managed to lose a copper golem into this constellation. Sometimes I really would love to know how I could change that, what kind of parameters of my build I need to change up to stop that from happening, but then I think it is just not possible. I just realized that I am very, very dumb. I should really try to let my Awakeners nuke before the Dragon nukes, because they lower status resistance. Just realized that I could increase the freezing chance by a lot this way. go. No distraction happened, but whatever. I do love the Sunder defense effect on the on this entire army. It's a very powerful little thing that helps you out a lot. Alrighty. Golem assistants! These guys, you know, they go places. They're free, they're powerful, and they keep your buddies safe to do whatever they please. Alright, we have a couple of banged up troops though. There is a very, very wounded tier 1 golem. Probably that was the source of the takedown. We are smart though. We let this little guy step back and just heal him up. Probably that was all the AI didn't do. Because self-preservation is something the AI doesn't just do for free. Alrighty, so one hero left. Wow, I even have my summon online still. Nice. Alrighty. Let's go into the flank. Cavalry Slayer. And yeah. That's a dead hero. Boom. So, it's pretty annoying to have to do this all manually, but sometimes you just can't help it. It is what it is. Alright, so I got an opportunity for a Stone Spirit unit. Gimme, gimme. I don't care about the fact that I have blocked production for a moment. This is a very, very good way to consolate me over the loss of my spear guys. So, we need a light forge. There we go. Iron Golem resurged. Now, ugh, well, that sucks. Here we go. Siege Magic. That's another one that I totally want to have. So, we got ourselves now yet another supporter. Yeah, I know. It's a lot of supporters that I got here online, but they really pay off, believe me. So, our next step now is going to be raising down yet another city and get that snowball going. I will walk all over Blind now, as I already successfully crushed an entire troop stack of his, and we're only getting stronger from here, you know. It's not as if we're getting weaker here. So, don't think that adaptive research is that important for me. Siege specialization, though, is really useful. Okay. So, yeah, we need to recover ourselves for one more turn. We're a bit late here. I mean, what I do realize that this build is darn slow. But I think that's just... The more I play this, the more I feel as if Chosen Destroyers is a challenge mode in disguise. As I don't feel as if I am as strong as I am with other builds. Oh no. I hate when that happens. You see, there is a little mountain ridge in the way, and the pathfinding loves to screw up on mountain ridges, as you don't get to move your army cluster together properly anymore because there is a mountain ridge. Cannot move around that without behaving like idiots. Yeah. Deep felt love. We're going to walk towards Strongwall now. And we're going to make sure that the troop stack stays together. Here we go. Mountain ridges are just very, very easily putting up that much of a slowdown that I spread out my armies too much, and then it's not possible anymore to get the job done. Just put them together. Alright, so at this point, Blind should be not much of a big deal anymore. We totally need, though, one more piece in the puzzle, and that is Artisan Armaments. This is a tremendously important spell for us, as it allows us to land way more crits with our melees, which makes our tier 1 units a lot more potent in a grand total. And they just evolve all of them, so we're gonna be good. This was one of the things that I totally wanted. Here we go. And Dormant Enchantment, I think I need to put this up now as well. But first we should put up the Staves of Warding. With this build, you totally should really put close tabs on what you want first, and what you want then, and what you want next. So, let's do this, and we can harass the defenders too. That's good. Alright, so the trick with this build is that every city you can destroy makes you stupidly much more stronger, especially in the research and mana income department. That's where the real power lies. And Blind will still run against me now. I'm pretty sure he will send another troop stack, like the one he sent before. But all in all, the chances are that it won't go down any different. So, the second tier 2 tome, I was considering this one, but I really feel a little bit let down by that. As sexy as Cascading Command seems to be, it is a little bit weak. And there's either now me going for a Tome of Winds, getting me those juicy Zephyr Archers, which would be for this build a real advantage, or we go for something in the Arcane area, even backtracking into Evocation. Could be a sexy idea. Lightning Focus is powerful. Lightning Blades is powerful. I am not fully convinced as of yet which step I will take next. I'll let you know in the next episode, because I want to take a little bit of a thinker about that. And we're going to continue next time when I want to go over the later stages of the game. But as you saw there, this one fight here that I documented, I think that was really good, a good show of how to play against a situation where you are at the losing end. Alright, leave me your comments, leave me a thumbs up if you'd be so kind. Also consider subscribing, check out the description box leading to various playlists, and also Patreon, PayPal, and Buy Me a Coffee. If you'd like to support the channel, you'd have my endless gratitude, and you already have my gratitude though for watching these videos, so I really am happy having you guys around, and next time we will walk all over the enemy even further. See you there, and have a good one.